Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Garlet's High Performance Garage channel. I regret to inform everyone that Sunday's Autumn Glory Festival car show was a washout. We do need the rain, though, but, I wasn't going to go up there and stand in the rain and look at probably, 5 or 6 cars that showed the fuck up because they didn't care whether they were in the rain or not. Well, I wasn't going to do that shit, so I did other things. I restored the battery in the Mercury, doing some tests on it. After I charged it up, it's holding a steady 12.5 volts, and it kind of fluctuates a little bit. I'm not sure if I got enough acid in it or not, but I bought some acid off of eBay, and then I found out the local auto parts store close to me carries it, which is kind of weird because people don't fuck with that shit no more. So I thought, hell, I'll just come up here and buy it from now on, because they had it for like $20 for like a quart of it, and I'm assuming that that's all you need, but I kind of added a little extra in there, and I didn't really clean it out real thorough like I was supposed to, but what I did get out of it, there was a lot of trash in there stuck to those plates. I did get a good bit of it, but I emptied out all the old acid. I diluted it with baking soda and water, got rid of it. While I was doing that, I had filled the battery with Coke, like Coca-Cola. It's got enough it's got enough trash in it to actually clean those plates and to unstick the trash that sticks to those lead plates and batteries. So I left it soak. I filled all the holes up. I left it soak for like 10 minutes, and then I dumped it out, and then I flushed it with like a gallon of distilled water, which isn't much to that battery because it's so big. That battery actually held a lot. I went and bought one of those aluminum foil type roaster pans that you get at like the dollar store. I got one of those. I used that to dump the liquids in, and I got a good bit of shit out of that battery. I rinsed it out probably 2 times, and then I said to hell with it. Even though the water wasn't completely clear coming out of it, it was close, but that battery's only a year old. It had a 624 stamped on it. So I don't know why the son of a bitch died as fast as it did, but it did for some reason. And I went ahead and gave it a good cleaning. I cleaned it all up with baking soda and shit, and then I took a little toothbrush and a little bit of water. Damn fucking articulator! If you don't have any movement so many minutes, it tries to shut the engine down. But anyway, back to the battery. I cleaned the terminals off real good. I cleaned the wires off real good. Under the hood, and I charged it up, put them caps back on it. Well, I topped it off with distilled water after I kind of guessed on the acid. It's got measurements on the side of the bottle. The one didn't. The one I got off eBay is from China, so it was real weird. It had like crossovers in these like individual little tanks. There were 6 of them. And then I look on the bottom, the fucking things had crossovers in them. So you didn't know how much acid you was pouring in each fucking hole. Which is fucking stupid. I guess that was made for a particular battery, I guess. I saw it on there and just ordered it. I didn't really read what the fuck it was for. I think it was from them smaller batteries, so. But I bought the extra acid at the auto parts store, and I just kind of eyeballed it. I poured it in there till I seen it to a certain point. And then I topped it all off with distilled water. I didn't fill it till it was running out. I filled it to where, like to where the cap would have more than enough room to fit down on and not squish it out underneath. And then I put it on a 2-amp charge for 24 hours on the battery charger in the garage. I had to go borrow my dad's because mine took a shit on me. So I borrowed his, used his. It's still in my garage sitting. And I kept checking the voltage. When it was done charging for those 24 hours, it was actually holding 13 volts at the time. And then I went ahead and put it back in the car. And yesterday, when I got home from work, I opened the door. The keys were in the switch. It was making the chime noise. Plus the little red light on the dash was blinking off, on and off. It's got like this security system. And I thought, well, that's good. And I cycled the fuel pump. And I hit it, and it fired right up. It fired off and ran. So I let it sit there and idle. I pissed with a little bit of shit on it while it sat there and idled for a little while. So I'm pretty confident that this is going to work. Of course, I don't know why it wouldn't, because I followed the directions. I looked up a bunch of stuff online on how to restore them, and I went ahead and did everything in the steps that it told me to do, except for really thoroughly rinsing it out. I didn't do that, but hopefully that doesn't hurt it. But according to these instructions, it would give me like an 800 cranking amp battery, so out of a 650. So anyway, I don't know how that happens, but one thing not to fucking get off eBay, and that's a battery acid tester. Looks like a fucking turkey baster with a long hose on the end of it. It's about like 2 inches long. And then there's this thing that's inside the tube. It's about that long. And it has on top recharge. And in the center it has like a white thing. I forget what it says. And the bottom is green for good. But when you pull the fluid out of it, the fucking thing doesn't move. It just lays down there in the bottom. It doesn't do anything. So it's like, is it good? Is it not good? It doesn't do shit. So I'm not real sure. I don't think that thing's working right. But I need to get the one kind of like the antifreeze tester. That has little balls in it. Whenever you have all the balls floating, that means it's like good to like 60 below or something, or 70 below. But the acid's different. That thing in there is supposed to float, and it'll float. And it's like, how can it fucking float? It's pretty fucking heavy anyhow. So I don't know. I think it's the fact that it's made in China. It's just a bunch of junk. So anyhow, I'm gonna let it sit today. Damn thing. I'm gonna let it sit today, and then tomorrow, when I get home from work, I'm going to reach in the window there and hit the switch, see what happens. See if it fires off. And if it does, and it don't crank real slow, or it doesn't do any of that clicking bullshit, I'll know that I have a good battery again. But I have 3 more batteries there at the house I would love to restore. I've had them for a number of years and just sitting around there. And it'd be better to have them kind of on standby, ready to go. I did a grocery run on Saturday with the Chevelle, and when I got down there and got my load of groceries, that son of a bitch didn't want to start, and it was very cool out on Saturday. It didn't get real warm until later on in the afternoon, and it cranked real slow. I actually had stopped it because I didn't think it was going to start, and I hit it again, and it did fire. But I went ahead and tested the voltage on that battery, and it said it only had 10 volts sitting there. But I tested the one in the cop car too, and it said that it had like 12.5 volts sitting there with nothing drawing on it. So I thought, hell, as long as the one in the Mercury stays up to at least 12 volts, I mean, it should be good. It should start. But I know if it gets down to 9, it was down to 9 before I redid the battery. If it was down to 9, it would just click. It didn't have enough ass to turn the engine over. It could run the fuel pump and, run the fucking radio and the lights, shit like that, but it couldn't turn over the engine. You need deep cycle to turn that stuff over. So anyhow, I never tested the one in the truck. Of course, I still need to bleed the brakes on it. I'm gonna try and get that done this weekend. Maybe cruise that baby. Maybe we'll have a 71 C20 revival. Maybe I'll do a video on that bitch. I can get somebody to help me bleed the brakes. If I can't get somebody down there and bleed, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do with it. I'd hate to not be able to run it a couple more times before it snows, because I haven't ran the truck for like 2 months. It's been sitting around since the master cylinder went out. Me not working at the time and not having much money come in, I couldn't really spend the money on a master cylinder until it started working again. Now I just need to get all my shit together, get somebody down there to help me bleed them brakes. See if we can't make something happen with it. But I have a feeling I'll be putting wheel cylinders in it here later, probably. Maybe in the spring. If I can get a little bit of brake on it now to where I can just stop it like it did before, I'll be satisfied with that. So, anyway, everybody. Looks like we got a little bit of coal here to haul.
I can act like I know what I'm doing. That's not good.
So, we'll see what happens here. So this job here, people aren't too talkative on this job. It's definitely different from what I'm used to, from the truck down to, everybody that's here on the job. I know a couple of the people from other jobs that I worked. They're on here. There's some new faces here too. And there's one that lives kind of close to me. He's kind of a dick. I don't care much for him. He's got like a fucking ego problem, I guess. But on these coal mines, you'll have that fucking shit. So, ain't much you can do about it. But to avoid conflict, I just don't say nothing. But anyway, it's okay. I'm making money, so I just have to just look out for myself and, maybe help a few of these guys when they need it, if they need it. But we gotta... Shut up, bastard. Dirty bitch. We got a seam of redstone open here. I guess we're gonna see if this old feller here can distinguish the ones from the twos, which I can't do that. I don't know. It all looks the same to me, man. I don't know how the fuck they do that. But anyway, everybody, my hands are getting numb from holding the fucking phone up. We'll get off here, and I'll see everybody on the next one. I might have something to add to this, maybe. Maybe when I get home, I'll videotape testing the battery with a multimeter. So I'm still learning the multimeter thing. They're kind of, it's so hard to remember everything else, plus all the symbols and stuff, the weirdo symbols they have on these multimeters. I don't have a book on it. I did have a book to it. I lost it. I don't know what the fuck I did with it. And it tells you all the settings and shit for testing stuff. You can test anything. It was a free one from Harbor Freight. When I walked in there one day, they gave it to me. There you go, a free multimeter. Like, okay, well, here's some free fucking lights too that ain't worth a fuck, that won't last. Harbor Freight junk. So, all right, everybody. like a fucking toilet bowl down in there. Round and round and round. I gotta back around this fucking curve down here. That sucks. Especially in the dark. It's not too bad in the daylight. In the fucking dark, it sucks. So, but anyhow, I guess we'll be running this down over the fucking hill. Anyway, there you go. Fuck this shit. It's a muddy fucking mess here. Ain't too bad down in here, but we did get some rock in the parking lot, so won't have to trudge through so much mud to get to my truck in the morning. It's a foggy, miserable, rainy bitch today. So, anyway, there you go. Alright, everybody. We're going to see if the Mercury will start today. I redid the battery. We're going to see if it'll fire or not. Might just get some clicking. It is chiming. Cycle fuel pump. Boy, it's cranking slow though. You know, another thing I have here that's wrong. I have a catalytic converter that's like come apart inside. Makes it sound like the engine's knocking, but it's not. Yes, the battery does sound like it's a little bit weak. I don't think I got enough fluid in it, I don't think. But we're going to check and pull the caps off and check and see where our levels are. Look pretty full to me. On that side, let's check the other side. Yeah. All right. See what for voltage we're putting out here. My multimeter, my cheap one from Harbor Freight. It's on the DC volts. Got it on 20. And you just turn the thing on. See, it's registering 0 right now. Well, minus, give or take a few. Okay. Oop. Get it to stick in there. Can't do this and tape at the same time, apparently. Right. We're getting 14 here. Getting a lot of fluctuations though. So I'm not sure what the deal is with that. Not sure what's going on there. 38 to 41, 42. But it is charging. Thing is though, is it gonna keep charging? I did run it yesterday. I ran it to town and back to see if just to run it and keep it going. I might have to stick it on the charger again. Just might not be up to strength yet. So I guess we'll mess with that and see what happens. But the battery's clear full. I mean, you can't get any more liquid in it. Not really sure what to do there if it doesn't. All I know is take some of the fluid out, maybe dump more acid in it. I don't know. I could try that. Don't know if that would work or not. But we'll let her run here for a little bit. So still have some parts to buy. It's for sure it's going to need rotors and pads on the back. I can tell you that for sure. Battery acid stinks. Itched my nose. Now it smells like battery terminals. So, so maybe I'll take the battery out and put it on a nice 12 amp charge instead of a 2 amp, or is it the 6 amp 12 volt? 6 amp 12 volt, yeah. I'll do that and see what happens to it. See if it'll make a comeback or not. I'm going to have to test it while it's sitting, not running at all, to see what it's doing. Because I know in here I charged it. It had 13 after the 24 hours of charge. It had 13. It just had like 13.38 volts. It never got up to 14. But then I left it sit in here, and I tested it periodically, and it got down to 12. And that's where it was kind of hanging out, was 12. But out here, it cranked slow. You heard it crank slow. So, so it's not all the way up to par the way where it should be for a battery like that. For it's in a car like that. I might still have to fuck with another battery here, maybe, or I may suck some of the fluid out of that one and add more electrolyte to it. I could do that. That's probably something I just might do. Not sure Well, for auto parts stores around here, all sell the battery acid. I know Napa does in Grantsville up here. I have to check with Advanced or AutoZone or one of them places. Maybe they have it a little cheaper, because it was like $20 for a quart of battery acid, of the sulfuric acid. So it's got to be cheaper somewhere else. Probably just by like a couple bucks, maybe $2-3. But still, $2 or $3 makes a difference. So I just figured I would touch down on that. I wanted to see what the hell was going on with it. And that catalytic converter, what it's doing is the guts of it inside that big brick of whatever that shit is that basically turns exhaust gases into a vapor, like a water vapor. That's why you get so much water coming out your tailpipes on these new cars, because it turns exhaust gases into water vapor. Is what it's the purpose of the catalytic converter, to make cars run as clean as possible and not, produce any carbon, which we actually need the carbon. So taking those fucking things off or punching them out is that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to punch them out, because they don't test emission systems around here. Plus, that car's too old anyway. It's 20 years old. Soon to turn 21. And it would have to be under 10 years old to pass emissions test here. That's the maximum they test them to in this state. I don't know, but knowing that asshole Wes Moore down there, they probably changed that motherfucker too. Probably saying, oh, your car's 20 years old, it's got to pass an emissions test too. But since I live in Garrett County, it's Western Maryland, it's not something we do here. We don't test emission systems around here. That's from Frederick County and down. I don't know if Washington County does it or not. I'd have to look that up. I can't say. But I know for sure Frederick County and the rest of them do. But your vehicle, after it's 10 years old, it don't have to pass an emissions test anymore. But I'm pretty sure they test them every year. I'm pretty sure they're tested every year down there for some fucking reason. And it's like in Montgomery County, they not only test them, they take in all the gas-powered lawnmowers and leaf blowers and weed eaters and shit like that off their store shelves in that whole fucking county. You're not allowed to have a 2-stroke or a 4-stroke small engine on anything in that county. Fucking retarded shit. Those motherfuckers sure are fucking crazy down there. They're all fucking nuts. Well, they're all filthy rich too, and they're all probably getting a tax write-off for it. So anyway, enough bitching about that shit, that unnecessary horse shit. So I'm going to let this car idle for a little bit. And it has cranked over on its own power, but it sounds weaker today than what it did yesterday, and I'm kind of wondering what the hell's going on. But there's a battery charger I'm going to buy here sometime soon. It has an emulsifier mode on it that will actually help free some of the gunk off the plates in these batteries. So you can hook your battery up to that, and it'll do a cycle on that where it'll get all the dirt and trash off your lead plates, and then you charge it, and it's supposed to be better. It's supposed to make it more powerful. But we'll get that, and we'll try it, and I'll review it, and we'll make a video out of that shit and see what that does, see if that actually works or not. But it's charging 14 volts, and if it's not taking 14 volts, I'm not sure what to do. But I can suck some of the fluid out of it, and I will buy some more battery acid, and I will pour that shit in there, because it's to the point where the distilled water has circulated through it, and I don't have any more left. I used it all. I filled that battery up with it. So we'll see what the hell happens here. I'll add a little more electrolyte to it and see what the fuck goes down. If not, I will clean that son of a bitch again, and I'll save all the acid this time that I dump out of it, and we'll clean the plates in there again, and we'll do the whole process over. But I'll buy way more distilled water next time. I'll buy about 4 gallons of it. We'll run 2 gallons of it out through that fucking battery to clean it out real good. And then we'll put everything back in it, charge it up, and see what happens then. So that's the only thing I know to do. But these old timers around here always had those batteries with the caps on them back when I was a kid. And those batteries lasted forever. You didn't have to worry about buying a battery back then. People just started doing it because it was more convenient. They didn't have to aggravate with it. A lot of people just didn't have time to fuck with it. So they went ahead and just bought batteries instead of buying the fucking electrolyte, which doesn't really make sense now because the battery for that car out there is like $200. And right now, $200 to me is a lot of money. So I'm going to try and save as much as I can. Plus, I still have to buy emergency brake shoes for it, rear brakes, pads, well, rotors and pads for the rear. What the fuck else? I have to fix the 2 holes in the wheel wells. Got to fix the rocker panels on it. The tires are really good on it. And I got to fix that rattling fucking catalytic converter. I'll just rip it off there and I'll take the stuff out of it and put it back on. It's on the driver's side, so I just might take both of them off and just hollow them out and stick them back on for now until I put my exhaust system on. The suspension on that car is good. There's nothing bad on it. It does look like it needs an alignment, but I'm going to get me the 3-inch lift kit and put on it. And then we're going to put some taller tires on it. It might not like those changes, but if worse comes to worst, maybe I'll get a set of 410s and put in it. I don't know yet, though. I don't know about that. But we'll see what the fuck happens. Plus, I need to change the transmission fluid in it. Still got the torque converter shutter. I never did change the fluid, but that's usually what fixes them. Plus, these transmission pans on these cars have a reusable gasket. So, we'll see what happens with it. And I'll keep everybody up to date on this battery thing. Because I have 3 more batteries around here I'd like to fuck with and get them done right. Get everything done to them. Get them ready to go. I still have all my roaster pans to collect the acid with and to collect all the dirt and trash out of. But I can filter that trash out of my acid too, because that acid's brand new. I can filter that shit right out with paint filters. I can get all the trash out of it. So we'll have this licked. I need to get me something to wear on the front of me, because it made mincemeat out of my fucking t-shirt that I had on that day. It splashed all over my shirt and I didn't know it. At the end of the day, that fucking shirt looked like somebody shot me with a fucking load of birdshot out of a shotgun. So, all right, everybody. Hopefully you like the little mining part of the video, the introduction, and like, share, comment, subscribe, and perhaps I'll see you on the next one if I can. I'm going to try and find out, see if there's one last car show I can go to. I'm not sure if there's any left, but you know, the Autumn Glory thing didn't work out, so we'll have to see what happens. If not, I might do a last drive, a 25 thing that's another challenge. We're going to see how long it takes for it to snow around here. We'll see how long we can keep the Chevelle and my truck on the road. Plus, I have to renew the tags on this truck and bleed the brakes. I never did renew them back in August. It's either July or August they ran out. I forget. But anyway, I mean, they'll gladly take my fucking money because, you know, it's state of Maryland. They'll ass rape you on anything they can. But all right, everybody. See y'all on the next one.